Hey guys, Max here. Here I have Galaxy Fold 5 and Samsung Galaxy Fold 6. I also have, for a little comparison, OnePlus Open and Pixel Fold. So, little things about me, like for example, I upgrade my devices every single year, especially if I like the line, like the S line from Samsung, the iPhone Pro lines. So I generally have a lot of devices to upgrade every single year, also with the tablets and the iPads. But I definitely have that special place for a foldable because it is compact and easy to carry. So the only one I would have to say I skipped was I did not go for Galaxy Z Fold 1 because the pricing of that device was a little bit out there when it was first released comparing to what the regular flab type of devices cost at that point. Nowadays, the difference between, like, for example, S24 Ultra and, like, for example, Z Fold 5, it's not as big of a gap than it was back then when Z Fold 1 came out. But I definitely enjoy having a foldable just because the portability is a big factor. You have a phone on the outer display and then you have like a tablet on the inner display. So I've had foldables from Galaxy Z Fold 2 going into Z Fold 5 and Z Fold 6. And honestly, I almost did not upgrade to Z Fold 6 just because Galaxy Fold 6, just because the changes are so minute. I remember when the leaks came out about Galaxy Fold 6, and I was like, man, like, people are asking for a wider outer display, and there goes Samsung producing another um, foldable with like very minimal increase in the outer display, like a millimeter. That's like, for those of you who look at the measurements, a millimeter is very, very minimal. But they also changed the form factor of the device itself, and it kind of looks much more modern because going back to 2, 3, 4, 5 fold um, cornered edges, and here they come with more of a corner sharp, like they're sharp. I mean, and it's actually noticeable, especially if I'm holding it in my hand. Like, I could feel the edges of this foldable. But I actually took Fold 5 with me to a trip to Egypt. Last year I went there for 10 days, exploring Egypt, and I needed a a tablet with me, and they're very strict when it comes to allowing devices into the country. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring a foldable. This way I get to have a phone and a tablet on the go. So let's say if I want to watch movies, I'm in my hotel room or an airplane, having a bigger display would just serve so much of a purpose for me, because like I said, they're pretty strict when it comes to allowing what tech goes into through that airport. But things changed when OnePlus Open came out. Here I have Pixel Fold, and honestly, this was the least used foldable. I considered this being a waste of money, honestly, just because, I mean, here you have these displays and then you have this plasticky, like you can see it's uneven, and look at these bezels. um yeah, it is wider, and honestly, when I was buying it, I was kind of looking at it like a Surface Duo type of device that offered wider two sides, and the application just looked better. And that's what I kind of pictured that this was going to be serve as, because each side of this type of device, the wider, so multitasking of having two side by side application would make more sense. And then the outer display, like for typing, it I think the only good thing about it is the outer display. What I did not like about Pixel Fold is optimization of the foldable system. Galaxy, like Samsung, is so far off from the competition of the operating system that it offers on the foldables. It's more designed for the foldables because the real state of the application sizing, like Samsung has been on top of it, releasing fixes to try and accommodate applications to fit or at least look better on a different display real estate versus to conventional form factor of a phone. Like Samsung has been on top of it. And I think that's the biggest winning aspect of Samsung with their foldables is their operating system. As far as the phone itself, I think OnePlus Open raised a huge bar when it comes to what a foldable can be in the United States. This, again, was a waste of money. But then again, the cameras on the Pixel Fold did receive a positive feedback versus to what Z Fold 5 is capable of doing it. And then OnePlus Open, I mean, this camera is amazing. Like, it could put up somewhat of a fair fight when it comes to the competition with the top flagship dog type of devices like the iPhone Pro, this 15 Pro, and Samsung S24 Ultra. Now, I know these two are in their own league, but for a foldable in United States, I don't think you could beat the camera. The OnePlus Open camera is really good. And at the same time, the display is absolutely gorgeous too. Let me open up a video. Let me make sure the volume is down because we don't need any copyrights. No, I don't want to open up the video because I'm going to start having all these notifications. But the display is, I mean, and look at this crease. You literally have to look, and the way the crease is designed, it kind of works. I honestly, like, even looking through the side of the images, like, you can't see it. With this one and this one, like, you could see the creases right there and the creases right there. Like, you could definitely see the creases even on Z Fold 6. There is a difference between the crease. Like, this one is more indented in. This one is less pronounced inside. It is a little bit smaller, narrower, versus this is a little bit wider. But I could still see it, especially when I'm looking at a white background image. And if I'm looking at the image from the side, let me show it to you. Like, if I'm looking from the side, I could see it. Not only the reflection, but the light itself also. Like, you could see it's right there. You could see, like, it's like it creates a form of a shadow when looking at the image. Now, when comparing Fold 5 and Fold 6 with the display, like, you could see right there, you could see not only the reflection, but you could see like the shadow right there. Like, this is the problem here. I think also the colors on Fold 5 are just tad bit punchier. They're more contrasty on Fold 5 than it is on Fold 6. Now, I'm also wondering because the brightness on Fold 6 is a lot much more brighter than it is on Fold 5. But it also kind of makes me think, like, when Samsung released S24 Ultra, there were a lot of complaints from people out there that S24 Ultra colors looked washed out when comparing to S23 Ultra. And I definitely saw, look at this, the red and this, look at the difference. Like, this is deep red and this is more on going towards the orange side, I would say. But as far as like here, you could see more of a yellow and it's just much more deeper versus this is a lot brighter. So there is a noticeable difference. But if you put this away and you're just looking at this itself, like, this is gorgeous. And because of the change of the design, This feels like I'm holding nothing else but a display in my hands. Like this is beautiful to look at. Look at this. This is beautiful. Like you could see the crease right there. Looking from the side, you could see the crease. Actually, this is the first foldable from Samsung that I got an insurance for. Samsung Care. So again, putting them side by side, like you could see, this is just a little bit deeper versus this is brighter. And right there, you can see the redness versus this. Like you could see the difference in color. Is it that bad? No, because this is a gorgeous, gorgeous display. Let me see. I'm gonna try to show it on OnePlus Open. All right. Like, I mean, OnePlus Open just changed things a lot when it comes to what a foldable is capable of doing, especially with what's available in the United States. I get it. Like the things that are available outside overseas, especially like in China, the devices are so much thinner. But yeah, it's like night and day. Okay, here we go. Trying to find the video that we're watching. Let's see where we at. 4:31. Sorry for the silence. I'm trying to catch on to show the difference. Okay, I don't know how close I am, but look at this. Let me move this down, both of them. It's hard to fit all the foldables. Actually, let me move it to the side. A little bit more. Here we go. Like, OnePlus Open was released a year ago, and I mean, I could only imagine what OnePlus is going to do with Open 2, because this is a gorgeous, overall, such a good device. Let me make sure it's at the, no, it's not at the highest. Here we go. HDR. So as you can see, this is definitely brighter, especially like, let me put this one in the middle. All right, here we go. Like you could see, this is definitely on the brighter side. And then this and this are very comparable. This is more contrasty. This is more natural. Let me see, make sure it's the brightness is to the max. Yes, it is. All right. So if I was looking at the image itself, this is more of a puppy type of, like, it just pops. It just definitely pops in your face with how deep the colors go, but this is definitely brighter. And for HDR content, like for example, if watching movies, having a brighter, higher nits for the brightness when it comes to watching HDR movies, the brighter is better. So, but when looking at this, I mean, you could definitely see the difference here. This is more deeper because it kind of feels darker, definitely feels darker than this display. And you could see it right here with the blue. And then this looks like baby blue. Okay. All right, this should be exactly right now the same. But I'm not comparing them. I'm not even comparing both of these. I'm just saying how this is an amazing device overall. But also, if the funds is an issue and you're able to get a great deal on the Fold 5, that is amazing device too. But I think if I had, like, again, the choice between this and this, I would go for OnePlus Open. Just the camera is great, the battery is great. It has 3 speakers in OnePlus Open. The outer display is much more comfortable to type on, especially for people that have thicker thumbs versus this. This is more pocketable, dual speakers over here, but you have capability of using pencil on this fold, and you can't over here. I mean, this is the modern, this is the new boy, the new kid on the block, which is Fold 6. Oh man, this is beautiful. Look at this. This is beautiful. Like you see that crease is definitely smaller. It's definitely like, it's much improved, but don't be fooled. You could still see it, like right there. You see it on the side, you could still see it. Now, in comparison, let me put the S Pen down. In the comparison to this one is a lot more prominent. It's deeper. And look at that. You could definitely see it right there. Now we have OnePlus Open. Like, what crease? Where's the crease? Like right there. Like, it's not even a crease. It's more like, but it's definitely like, it doesn't really, it's definitely different when it comes to, like, for example, comparing to this one. This is definitely much more noticeable versus, for example, this one that has a lot thinner and less noticeable crease when compared to Fold 5. But you cannot compete with OnePlus Open. All right, the creases on both of these, like even when I'm touching in the middle, like I could feel the crease right there. This one, can't feel it. This one, I could feel it, but it is smaller. Now, let's compare the sounds on Fold 5 and Fold 6. Let me turn this off. Let me turn this one off. Let me turn this one off. And this is where I would have to say Fold 6 wins, especially when it comes to a comparison to Fold 5. Okay, max volume. Let me close this. Here we go. Max volume. There we go. So let's play this one on Fold 6. And then here. So to sum it up, the difference is this sounds fuller. It almost has that like surround type of feeling that is just rich. The sound coming from this is rich. It's loud and rich. Now this is loud, but it sounds tinny. Like the sound's very tinny. Let's see this one. Like, you hear the beats? Now let's go here. you guys could hear on your end what I hear over here. This is fuller. Let's play this one. Let's play this one. So the speaker, hands down, much better on Fold 6. They're both loud, it's just this has more fullness to it. It sounds bassier, especially like listening to something with the beats. It just sounds bassier. Like, listen to the beats. Let's play this one. So the speaker on Fold 6 is better. It is also lighter. It feels lighter. And then using this and outer display, I would say it kind of, it's hard to put it in words. It's still an narrow display, but the changes in the design, especially like because lack of this extra hinge over here versus how it is here, it makes it easier to hold, and it kind of feels like you have more of a display to work with versus then having something like right here. But it's literally to a personal preference. If you, someone who's watching this video and you have thick thumbs, both of these displays are definitely going to be like much, look at the difference between that. Like you get extra display in here than you get over here. So for thicker thumbs, OnePlus Open is definitely a better competitor versus than using something like this, or even like, for example, using something like right here. This is much more of a user-friendly display in the front for typing. This is definitely much more narrow. Like for example, to give you an example, we don't want any notifications, not now. So like this is small. So for example, let me type Apple. Like I have to use edges, sides of my thumbs in order to be able to type something versus like, for example, something like this, or something like, let me see, I have it open over here. Epidemic. Here we go. Of course. Okay, I'm just logging in. Don't want to explore anything. All right. So for example, here, again, all this, don't allow notifications, not now. So like typing over here versus look at this keyboard. It's a lot more spaced out versus something like over here, which feels a little bit more cramped. I mean, look at the numbers and that. So this, I'm comfortably able to use thumbs like I would do for typing, because this feels like a regular display, a regular flap type of conventional phone that we're so used to using. But this is more on a narrower side. But the benefit of being narrow, it's a lot easier to hold it with one hand and for portability versus, for example, here where this feels like a chunky and I can't fully grab it. So it's, I think, you know, it comes down to personal preference. For someone who wants easier device to carry, and then you're mostly going to be using an inner display, I don't know how this is gonna stand up through the time of usage versus to, for example, like when this came out, there were people that had issues with the inner crease or like the film peeling off or cracking right in the middle. This is where most people had the issue, like the crack over here. So hence why I decided to get an insurance for the first time with Z Fold 6. Again, here we have the creases. Here's the crease. It's definitely noticeable that you could see it's like almost like a book of two displays versus this still looks like a flat display and it's just a little crease in the middle. I do have to say this feels like using a glass versus this feels like plastic. I did read somewhere that Samsung this year went from for a flexible glass versus flexible plastic display. Now, don't quote me on it. Could have been just a rumor, but I did read it somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. So, would I recommend upgrading to Fold 6? If you have Fold 5, no. I think Fold 5 is a good phone on its own. Would I recommend upgrading Fold 5 to OnePlus Open? Yep. Would I recommend upgrading Fold 6 to OnePlus Open? Now, that's a tough one to respond because I think OnePlus Open is a great device all around. It's just much more of a complete package. The Crease, for example, a bigger outer display, great cameras, 3 speakers, but this is a bright display and it does look much more modern, much more futuristic. So it's a tough one. I think from now on, I'm gonna make Fold 6 as my primary device. So I'm waiting for OnePlus Open 2, and I'm hoping that OnePlus Open 2 comes to play, you know, dirty. Yeah. Hopefully comes to the market playing dirty with a bright display, contrasted display, thinner. I read the rumors that the battery is going to be bigger on OnePlus Open. Speaking of battery, yeah, OnePlus Open does seem to have a better battery than both of these. This seems to be draining a little bit quicker than I'm used to, but it is new, and usually new devices do have quicker drainage at the beginning until the device adjusts to usage, as the chip inside kind of learns and adapts to the usage of the user. But as I've been recording this video, I've been noticing the drainage on the battery on both of these have been pretty much the same. But I took it with me to Egypt, so that was 10 days, and I did use it regularly during that time. But after that, once this came out, I barely used this. So I'd have to say that Fold 5 didn't have enough time to adjust to my usage. Also, yes, this has cornered edges, so it's easier to hold it in the palm. It's not as jabbing versus something like this, pointy, and I definitely feel it when I'm holding it. Like, definitely feel it. Like, man, that discoloration is coming from holding the foldable for a while in my hand. Hopefully I did provide enough of my opinion. Like I said, I will be using Fold 6 as my primary foldable device, and I'll be looking out for OnePlus Open 2. This is my last Pixel Fold device, even though the leaks kind of resemble somewhat of OnePlus Open, but based on my experiences with Pix Fold, the operating system is just so behind competition. I remember when it first came out, it just, if any of you guys who follow foldables, the Pixel Fold was just disappointment, and Even now when I'm using it, I'm still very disappointed with Pixel Fold. I think the leap of the foldable game, especially with the Galaxy foldables, is so far ahead versus to Pixel Fold. But those of you who like the regular updates of from the Android from Google, like right now it's I think on 15. Pixel is running on 15s versus this is running on 14. So that's definitely a plus. But I think, in my opinion, there's a huge trade-off. Just it does not look modern. I mean, it does feel heavy. Um, yeah. Again, this video is not about Pixel Fold, but just in case, if you're looking at what to get out there, because you finally decided to go into the game of the foldables. So I think the hinge, as far as being able to stand, is definitely um, in, like Samsung is a beast when it comes to being able to use, especially the flex mode. This is one of the things that I really missed on OnePlus Open. Like if I bring this with me to work and I want to watch something, like it doesn't have a kickstand, and also very hard to find something for a kickstand. And I mean, forget about this one. So the flex mode on the Galaxy devices is far ahead when it comes to this one. Multitasking on OnePlus Open requires learning, but I think multitasking is pretty advanced, especially allowing ease of use of 3 applications. Yes, you can use multiple applications at the same time, but I'm just saying usability of multitasking of those 3, I think is a little bit more comfortable on OnePlus Open. But where Samsung wins is in their operating system for foldables. They just do that much extra by utilizing this extra real estate of a display, because traditionally applications are made for this type of display. So a lot of the foldables, especially this one, you had to use in the middle. So you had all this extra real estate of a display that was just a waste, and the application was in the middle, or you could just move it to this side or that side. But Samsung has been in the game of foldables before, especially this one. So they have extra customization that they've been utilizing for foldable, like with Good Luck application. At the same time, now it's incorporated in the labs within the settings, where you could utilize application, like make all applications to be multitasking capable, and then at the same time utilizing Good Luck, and then going in there and enabling aspect ratio of each application to fit the whole display, rather than having in the middle or having to deal with those extra bars of a display. So this is where Samsung is definitely ahead with the operating system for the foldables, while I think as a phone itself, OnePlus Open is still leading in many ways, even when comparing to Fold 6, because of the camera and because of the outer display, and at the same time having usage of the 3 speakers. It's loud, but this still sounds fuller when compared to OnePlus Open. So do I recommend going for Fold 6? If you have like Fold 3 or Fold 4, yes. If you have Fold 5, I would say you're good enough to pass by this year. Who knows what's going to happen with Fold 7. Now, if you're looking to get a foldable and you do have Fold 5 and you're looking to maybe go for another brand of foldable, I do not recommend this one. This, even though it came out almost a year ago, it still is out there raising up the bars for the foldables, just because of this crease and other things that they incorporated in this device itself. Now, I do love the fact that Samsung has where the hole punch just basically disappears when looking at an image. Let me open up an image. Definitely let me lower the volume. Like, it disappears. Now, if looking closely at it, you can still see it, but technology, even looking from there, the technology kind of where it's not in a way. And if I'm using the inner display, I don't really care about the cameras here. Like, if I want to use a camera, I'm going to use the outer camera, or I'm going to turn and use these cameras and use this as a display to see what I'm taking a picture of, especially if I'm doing a selfie. So having that disappear is a plus. But it all depends to the preference of the person who is using these devices. For me, this is going to be my main device, and I'm looking out for OnePlus Open 2. Hopefully they're gonna step up with the brightness of this display, because this display bright. Sounds good too, but that's basically it. I want to avoid rambling as much as possible. Hopefully this video was helpful enough for those of you who are considering going for a foldable, if it's your first one, or if you're considering of upgrading. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if I forgot something to cover, please post below. I am returning Fold 5 because I did a trade deal for Fold 6. Again, thanks for watching. Comment below.